finally confirms coup plot to overthrow Tinubu's government. Now, Premium Times. Why they stress her like this? Remember that time last year, around October, where this news came out? Everybody say allegedly, allegedly. Now, two media outlets, and they stood by this word, coup plot, coup plot. They say from their sources, now coup plot. That was Premium Times and Sahara reporters. Some people for comment section for the talk say, hey, why you they read news from Sahara? Sahara, why they talk anyhow? I say, Sahara, they get license to operate, abi? If they get license to operate, they say insider, aside insider, they place a call to the department where they in charge of communicating with the public, but there was no reply, no pick, no call back. But they stood by what they talk. After how many months? 16 indicted officers to face court martial. DHQ Vanguard. Military investigation ends. DHQ moves to arraign alleged coup plotters. The cable just in. DHQ finally confirms coup plot against Tinubu. There was a coup plot. Nothing like because of indiscipline or they were arrested because they were trying to protest against lack of promotion. They say now coup plot. Why I say they stress like this? Because last time, like in Kaduna, they say they kidnapped people from church. Now so police called it one. Nothing like that. Fake news. If you talk we go arrest you. They threaten. After a few days, the court agreed to say they kidnapped more than 160 people. So for this country, to talk, say now wahala, even to talk. The only thing where they never enter now to breathe. As you can see, the defense headquarters has finally confirmed that there was a coup plot to overthrow President Bola Tinubu. In a statement on Monday, Samala Uba, Director of Defense Information, said investigations into the coup attempt have been concluded and officers involved will be arraigned before relevant military judicial panels. Because Premium Times and Sahara reporters and they stood by their words last time, others were just checking out. We could read what they talk now. Let's first of all do for Premium because Sahara reporters get a new update just today concerning this matter. You go see them. They say police officer, they involved allegedly. Let's read. The defense headquarters has finally confirmed the plan to illegally host the administration of President Tinubu, saying the indicted officers will be arraigned before the military judicial panels. The military said this in a statement signed by Samaila Uba, the spokesperson for the defense headquarters. Last October, Premium Times reported that 16 officers were being investigated for illegally planning a coup. Although the army claimed they were investigated for indiscipline and breach of service regulations. See at the top, but now Premium Times, as Sahara say, now coup plot. This newspaper reported that the officers were arrested and detained over an alleged coup plot against the administration of President Tinubu. 14 of the 16 officers are from the Nigerian army. The remaining 2 are from the Navy and the Air Force. Premium Times further investigated the matter, revealing the identities of the officers. This newspaper further gathered that more officers and civilians were later arrested in connection with the matter. The defense headquarters in a statement said the investigations has been completed and forwarded to appropriate superior authority in line with extant regulations. It could be recalled that the defense headquarters, now the army they talk so, issued a press statement in October 2025 regarding the arrest of 16 officers over acts of indiscipline and breach of service regulation. The statement said, you can see now their names with this. Their names with this. Okay? Their names. Rank and names. So their names. Their names.
Keep watching if your recent car accident was not your fault, because I've got a way that you could get 3.5 times more compensation.
The one we know. Shugombo Sahara, exclusive new update. 35 military officers, including 33 northerners, detained over alleged coup plot against Tinubu government. Okay? At least 35 Nigerian military officers are currently being detained over an alleged coup plot against the Bola Tinubu-led Nigeria government. Sahara Reporters has learned. This is contrary to a claim by the defense headquarters on yesterday, that 16 officers, just 16 instead of 35, were arrested and being investigated for allegedly involved in plotting to overthrow the government. Okay? However, the top military sources, see also another sources again. If the first sources were correct, I'm not going to read this one. I'm just a news reader. Top military sources told Sahara Reporters that 35 military personnel, including 33 northerners and an operative of a paramilitary organization, are currently being detained over the coup plot. The source revealed that one of the detained army captains, A. Yusuf, is from Osun State. Another southerner on the list is squadron leader Zuzu, a senior Air Force officer from Bayelsa State, while the 3 others are all from the northern part of the country, including the FCT. The defense headquarters still keeps deceiving Nigeria. The total number of officers under detention are 35. Army, Navy, Air Force, while releasing a statement again claiming 16. If we go back to premium, council, this newspaper further gathered that more officers, Sahara, 35, more officers as civilians were later arrested in connection with the matter. Back to Sahara is their source, as you can see, quote, now they talk so, but this one they talk for you so. My eye don't feel that it dey blow. As I worry that it dey blow. I need to go to Sahara. I'm gonna read about myself, okay? He added, also, I want you to know that some of these military officers were invited from outside Nigeria, where they were doing different courses. Course put across to Major General Uba were not picked nor returned. WhatsApp message sent to his line was yet to be replied as of the time of this report. Then another one. Breaking. Nigeria police inspector detained by DIA for alleged coup plot against Tinubu. They say that time, so police joined them more. That means the thing heavy, more than we saw allegedly Sahara Reporters. The police identified as Inspector Ahmed Ibrahim from Taraba State. A personnel of the Nigerian police force has been named among those arrested and detained by the military authorities for allegedly plotting a coup to terminate Nigeria's democracy. Sahara Reporters has gathered. The policeman identified as Inspector Ahmed Ibrahim is from Taraba State. Okay? Sahara Reporter learned that Ibrahim was arrested in Abuja by the operative of the Defense Intelligence Agency and currently in the agency's custody. Why the newspaper could not confirm when the policeman was picked up? The source said information extracted from some of the detained military officers led to his arrest. They say the military officers, when they first arrest, when they question them, allegedly, now what they talk, now they come to go pick Ibrahim for Abuja. Say himself, allegedly, they informed. They hear so? Okay? No will see the way when they test Sahara Reporters, allegedly. Yes, among those in their custody is a policeman. Oh, the military officers under detention are 35. Army, Navy, Air Force, and one policeman identified as Ahmed Ibrahim. Total of 36 security operatives. He was arrested after investigation showed he was involved in the failed attempt. A military source told Sahara Reporters. So, there's a policeman they involved, they complete both Army, Navy, Air Force, Police. The only one we know there is Civil Defense, Civil GFT, Road Safety. What do you think? Drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.
Hey, did you know that SMUD is now paying Sacramento homeowners thousands of dollars upfront to put a backup battery system in their home?
We are at that stage because we have a team in place that has been talking about membership e-registration. I'm sure you know that is the brainchild of the Labour Party, even though other political parties are now like doing same. But the Labour Party is the only political party that has institutional members like TUC and the NLC. And there is nowhere, no polling unit in Nigeria that you go to that you wouldn't get someone who had either been a teacher, a nurse, or retired civil servants. So if you use that, that structure, the Labour Party is actually supposed to be the strongest party in Nigeria if you know what you are doing.
Well, that structure didn't quite work in 2023, did it?
But that is because the NLC and the TUC were not carried along as they should have been. Because if they had been made polling agents, as we had them in almost every polling unit, if they had been given that opportunity to do it, they would have done it and would not have run into the problems we ran into.
That's actually a good point. But let's return to the Abure faction. It says it'll appeal if that legal battle drags into the election cycle. How do you prevent the Labour Party from entering 2027 divided and weakened? I mean, something we've seen destroy other opposition parties.
Since after the judgment, I extended the olive branch. I said I felt everyone should come on. Let's work together.
They're not accepting that.
But since they are not accepting it, they have the right to do that. But I know one thing: the judiciary is also aware that Nigerians depend on them. The success of democracy in Nigeria depends on the judiciary. So I do not think they are going to keep dragging and dragging and dragging and on and on. I do not see it happening like that.
Yeah, but if INEC recognizes your leadership, which it appears to be on the road to doing, but the Abure faction continues organizing things like parallel congresses and parallel primaries, how confusing might that be for Nigerians in 2027? I mean, how do you prevent votes for Labour from being potentially confused and perhaps going to the wrong people?
With the recognition by INEC, it means only one party, which is my
would be on the ballot.
Would be on the ballot.
Right.
And it means we are the only ones who can write INEC, and INEC would come and attend primary elections we are conducting, or congresses, or whatever. So it means that there will be no ambiguity about who is the leader and which part of the party is the party. So one more thing I want to say is, at this point in time, people are actually supposed to be thinking first about Nigeria, secondly about the Labour Party. If you love Nigeria, you love the Labour Party, there's a limit to what, and an extent to which you would go.
Well, it's hard to love a party when you guys fight killing each other. I mean, what do you expect the rest of Nigeria to do? I mean, if you're the ones, attacking each other essentially, you don't inspire confidence, do you?
We are not attacking each other. If your tenure is over, your tenure is over. The institutional members, the other members of NEC come together, sit together with the leader of the party, who is His Excellency Governor Alex Otti, because he's the most senior political office holder in our party. So if these major stakeholders, the NEC members come together, sit together and say, okay, INEC has told us that we don't have any leadership anymore. And because of that, we have to do something. We have to come up with a team that would help us organize congresses right from the ward level to local government, state, and then culminate into a national convention. That has been done, and they said they do not want to do it. But you see, the way you see me, I'm a very peaceful woman. I don't look like somebody who has been out there fighting. I'm not a daggers drawn with anybody.
Well, you certainly don't look like someone who would pull a dagger out. But I mean, have you actually, has INEC approached you? Have you approached INEC about getting that recognition that the
Yes, we did. We did today.
Right, okay. And have they given you that recognition?
We went in a bit late in the day, so I'm expecting we'll get a response soon because, you know, you don't go to them empty-handed. You need to have a certified true copy of the judgment. So that took a little bit of time to get out of the court. So we finally got that today, and with that, it was submitted.
Okay. Kenny, how now? Welcome. Oh. Greetings to you. Charles, welcome. Greetings to you. You guys remember the screwdriver trader that the New York Times wrote about? Here is your man right here. Here is the screwdriver salesman. Let's listen to him. The description of the screwdriver salesman. Make una hear when I make una conclusions.
Let me come in here with due respect. But based on what you said, New York Times didn't do any investigation. They said we are admitted. That's the report. They said we are admitted that we don't often verify our data. That's the exact word of New York Times. Do you understand? And to that extent, we disagree. It is totally incorrect. That was not what we told you in New York Times. How can we, if we can tell New York Times that we don't often verify our data, then what's the sense of allowing them to come in? What are they coming to do? Since we have admitted. Do you understand? So that is incorrect. That is very, very incorrect. Then about the data, and the New York Times also became economic with the truth. In our report, we stated it clearly that right to freedom of religion is not restricted to Christians alone. That when you talk of religious freedom, Muslims also have right to freedom of their religion, like white Christians. That explains why in our report, we clearly stated from our estimate, that is gathered from many angles, primary data sources, secondary data sources, that it is estimated that between 2009 and sometime in 2025, that no fewer than 125,000 Christians and estimated 60,000 moderate Muslims were killed by Islamic jihadists. We are not talking about killings. We are not referring to data released by National Bureau of Statistics belonging to Nigerian government that stated that between 2023 and 2024, 614,000 Nigerians were killed as a result of insecurity. That is not the data we are talking about. We are talking about religiously motivated killing.
Right.
That's the one we are referring to.
Okay.
That is our own data. And let me also tell you, Charles,
Right.
quickly,
Go ahead.
Quickly.
Go ahead.
You can never be part of a data you never generated. And let me also make it clear as a criminologist that what rules the world in matters of criminal justice administration is circumstantial evidence. Even if you go there, you go to the crime or scene of crime, you only go in there to be told of what happened. You were not there when the whole thing happened, whether primary or secondary sources. You were not there. You must be told a story. That is exactly the point.
Now, yeah, this man is a civil liberties. Let me go back to the title here. Okay. I want to see the title. I think there was a title that was used to describe.
And to that extent, we disagree with our data. That's the exact word of admitted that we don't often verify. That we
Sorry, guys.
do on what is mean. Let me come here. Let me come in here with due respect.
Civil liberties. Let me see. This is Emeka Omoye Balasi, the almighty screwdriver seller that instructed Trump on what to do according to New York Times. Here are some things I find interesting. The New York Times tried to paint Emeka as one unprofessional person who was just selling screwdrivers in Onitsha. However, Emeka is far from being an ordinary screwdriver seller, but to make the agenda appear well, they had to give him that image. Here's Emeka's short resume. He's a criminologist, that's what I was looking for, and a graduate of security studies. He has an MSc in peace studies and conflict resolution. He attended the International Visitors Leadership Program on NGO Management, organized by the U.S. in June 2013. He's the founder and board chairman of the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law Inter-Society, an advocacy group promoting human rights, democracy, rule of law, and security in Nigeria, which was founded in 2008. He's the former chairman of the Civil Liberties Organization, Anambra State, and vice chairman of its Southeast Zone, former coordinator of Amnesty International Onitsha Pre-Group, human rights researcher, investigator, and author of various reports, articles, and books on rights, security, and conflict. He has also received multiple local and international awards for humanitarian and human rights work. So for the New York Times to classify a man with these qualifications and experiences as a mere non-Onitsha screwdriver seller tells you all you need to know. It's all propaganda and a diversion of attention. Emeka's report was about unaliving religious killings in Nigeria, which did not include only Christians. They specifically and expressly included that both Christians and Muslims were being unalived. In fact, in their report, they gave estimated numbers of Muslims being unalived too. So if the report was about religious unalivings, which included also Muslims, and they were all in their report, why was it not emphasized? You know why? You know, it will not fit into their narrative and agenda. I just wanted to bring this to you guys.
What was the purpose of hiring this PR firm? Are they hiding what's happening there? What was the purpose of hiring this PR firm?
We believe that this is a master cover-up operation, especially hiring a firm like DCI, which is kind of known as a Republican-affiliated firm. And they have been trying for a long time to whitewash what is actually happening in Nigeria, especially removing the name Fulani ethnic militia and to look the other way from the Fulani. They'll give them Boko Haram heads. The Nigerian government will give them ISIS heads, but they do not want eyes on the Fulani because the Fulani are in the security apparatus of the Nigerian government. In fact, the National Security Advisor, Rabadu, who's well-known affiliated with the Fulani terrorists, he's our national security advisor. And they have been laying cover for the Fulani for a long time as they've been taking over territory after Christian community after Christian community for the last 20 years.
We
had the likes of Bello Turji that, and I've said it several times, the terrorism and the banditry industry is controlled by those in government. And these Bello Turjis, the guy that was in Boko Haram, they're all their boys. So if they want to go and bomb somewhere now, they'll tell Bello Turji in advance, we are coming. Or they will throw the bomb where Bello Turji is not at. There was a revelation made by a publication known as Human Angle. I think it was last month. I think it was last December. Which showed that throughout the time that Nigeria was saying that they have killed Shekau, they knew his location all throughout. And they never bombed the place. He wasn't even staying in a mansion, he was staying under some trees, like that. And they have not debunked the revelation till today. So when there was another one I knew, that Nigerian government hired opposing terrorists to go and fight themselves. Wow. Instead of killing both sides. So when you hear that ISWAP is fighting Lakurawa, just know that it is federal government fighting federal government. Maybe one side is not, acting according to the script that has been, according to their contract. Yes. Don't forget that this is the same government that whenever the terrorists are low on funds and food, what they call non-kinetic approach is that they'll send money to them. Or they will pay them ransoms that will help them retool, recoup, and rearm. That's what Nigeria has been doing about terrorism. And the only time that they do something is maybe when it affects them directly or their families, or maybe when the world is shouting. Like when Donald Trump was shouting, suddenly they said, but the moment they found ways to bribe Donald Trump and his people with, what's the thing they call, the contract they give them to help them lobby, the lobbies. And Donald Trump has moved to Greenland. Nigeria also has moved on to hiding against terrorists. So what I'm trying to say is that the Nigerian military, Nigerian DSS, are in bed with terrorists. They themselves are terrorists, by the way. We are here for a reason today. If you are all in court, you will cry for Nigeria the way the DSS guy was talking about a post that he said I made. He said that the post threatens, that it was creating tension in the country. So the post that was made by that guy on TikTok who works as a bandit, that one did not create tension. The post made by the government threatening human rights, that one doesn't create tension. The action by terrorists abducting people doesn't create tension. But one post, they said they linked the thing to me. And that the thing, he said, in fact, his final word is that because of this kind of post that Shore is given, our world has become more difficult. Well, that's what he said.
When they are the ones,
That because they are the ones putting their lives on the line. So how is it that my post threatens the country, but terrorists don't threaten the country?
Terrible situation.
I mentioned earlier before we got there, 177 people are in captivity in Kajuru, local government of Kaduna State. The DSS is not looking for them.
Instead, they are looking for Sudan.
And if you see the guy, these are the kind of guys that won't even go near any fights. He looks like a playboy. So that's why I said, in ending my conversation, is that you don't have leaders. Nigeria still have leaders. Just accept that and move on with your lives. Yes.
Lastly, on the case of the Kajuru abduction, what's your reaction? What do you have to say about
I've reacted too many times today. So some of you don't know that the last time there was a major abduction in Kaduna, I was the one that led the protests here. I think it was a university or college of education in Kaduna. And the moment we led the protests, they released them the next day. That tells you that government is always aware of the people. But do you know what they did in this particular case? That is complicit and criminally very, very unbelievable. And that's why I call these guys criminals. And I have no regrets over it. They denied that there was any abduction so that the terrorists can take their victims far into the bush. They denied for almost 3 days. Yes. By the time they accepted, these people are nowhere to be found. They even went to the community to be threatening them that if you speak to the press that you are abducted, we will come after you. It was when the media kept pounding on it that I think this story was broken on Sahara Reporters right away. But initially, they said that it was a lie. And you have lost precious time, but this is part of what we are talking about. They are the ones who carried out the abduction. And when they are tired, they will release them after they have collected and shared the ransoms amongst themselves. All right? So that's do you guys, is anyone else with any question for me? Yeah. So we are good for today, but we are not good for the future until we liberate our country.
Meanwhile, my Oyo people, Sheyi Makinde say you cannot speak truth in this administration. We asked to review the tax bill, they refused. Okay, this is what Sheyi Makinde is saying. No, it's not me, it's Sheyi Makinde. Do you guys know that Bello Turji is APC member? Yes, Bello Turji's details in APC database. Hey, God, I beg you. The most wanted bandit is an APC member. He's registered as APC member in Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara. Rufai Hosseini says the same President Tinubu that berated former President Obasanjo for withholding local government allocations in Lagos is doing the same thing in Osun State. Everything he has condemned, he has ended up doing as president. Let me read this article by Mr. Babatunde Gbadamosi, right? He said, this is why the Fulani Muslim jihadist terrorist leaders of northern Nigeria are threatening and warning everyone against the separation of Nigeria. Their ideal Nigeria is a theological caliphate where they are the masters and everyone else who is not a Fulani is their slave. This is the whole point of Sharia, conquest and enslavement. This is why they infiltrate the Nigerian army and other armed forces with the terrorists under their command. This is why they always advise negotiations with their terrorists instead of obliteration. They want you all as their slaves. Any police or military officer, no matter how highly ranked, that advocates negotiations with or the payment of ransom to kidnappers or terrorists is either an infiltrator, excuse me, or a slave. Any politician who negotiates with or facilitates any kind of payment to or in any way sympathizes with terrorists is a terrorist, just dressed up. If you do not defend yourself, you will either be unalived or enslaved. Those are the choices before you. As an indigenous Nigerian, Muslim or not, Tinubu and all who support him, Yoruba or not, Muslim or not, are already enslaved. They just don't realize it yet. Why did he say this? Now, in Afghanistan, Taliban announced return of slavery. Okay? They say it's the old Gulam system in which children were taken as sexual slaves and servants has officially returned. This is why he responded like that. I just think I bring a coin and Mona can listen to.
Good day, viewers, fellow Nigerians. I want to crack you because that fellow Nigeria is also something that is used to military era when they want to call people. So the fact is that we need to discuss something, both of us, something that benefits us, something that is very important to our democratic, progression and growth. And this is about voter registration. I want to really encourage a lot of our youth out there to be involved in the process, to get engaged, because for democracy, there's no another definition on how to do things right, apart from people being interested in the process. Participation is key, and that's our motto. Because if you don't participate, you have left the stage for those who do not even know their right, who do not know how to vote the right person, who know how to canvass for the right person, to do us more harm, and bringing those who will continue to put Nigeria in a retrogressive movement. So INEC has already announced again that the voter registration is starting, which has already started, of course. I started on the 25th of January. So that all the young people out there who have been on Twitter, who have been agitating for a better government, who have been promoting better governance system, now is the time for you to take the stress. There's no stress that is too much for you to work for the Nigerian of your dream. To go to your own nearest polling registration site, so you can get yourself registered and with your card, your PVC for 2023, you'll be able to make a choice and determine who governs us, who's going to be in charge of our country, who is going to lead us into prosperity. Because our major focus has been that we need somebody that will be able to re-engineer this country, that will be more interested in how to work this country, that will look at our resources and see how to harness it. And we already know these people. We know some of them. Some of them live amongst you. They live amongst us. They are our friends. They are people we know. So we must be able to work collectively to be how we can bring our friends who have competence, who are credible, who have the capacity to deliver into office. So this is very important. We should stop being lame dog. We should stop being docile, because participation is the very vehicle that drives a democratic process. If you stand on the roadside and you do not even flag a car to stop for you, the cars will be passing. So for us to get involved, because government itself is not supposed to, we are not supposed to be beholden to government. Government is supposed to be beholden to us. And for us to make government beholden to us, we must show that we have a right, that we have the power to be able to change non-performing elected officers. And when we can change them, it will reach signal to others that next time when they don't perform, Nigerian people will change them. So it's important we work towards this angle and go out and register to vote so that we can change those who have refused to perform. They have actually refused to perform because they think that you can do nothing. They think we can't do anything. They have refused to honor their campaign promises. They have refused to honor what they promised Nigeria they will do. And that's why we are still here. There are no amenities to push us forward. There are nothing is going on. See, my people, the vote is in our hands. It is us that will determine who governs us. If you go to the social media, you see very young
Tracy,
entrepreneurs
welcome.
who are young,
Greetings, my sister.
who are fascinating to watch, to read their stories. Very interesting. So why can't you regroup along that line and say, look, this is the candidate you want to choose. This is what you want, and vote for that candidate of your choice. Let's take our protest to victory on election day. Let's take our grievances with bad governance, our grievances with underdevelopment, our grievances with disappointment from those who have been elected to represent us, and take it to the ballot box. Let us what we call ballot box revolution. Let's change the status quo. Let's revolt against bad governance. For once, they're always saying, oh, when the election comes, don't worry, we'll give them money and they will vote for us. For the past, since
I see that video. I will play up shortly.
It's not money from a vote buying.
Oh
A lot of people
my
are going and clothing themselves.
I was reluctant to bring it. I was like,
we can grow without this
old age, right?
that they come
But
to
I was
share
like,
every
this
time,
man is the evil man's
like as if we are hungry.
monster. I have to show
We can
it.
vote for those we love. We can vote for those we know will perform. We can vote for those we know will deliver the promises made to the Nigerian people. So the most important thing, across 36 states, no state is exempted. Look at those young people. Work within that line, regroup within that line, and do your movement within that angle to be able to work. And say this one, they are young people, they have competence, they have merit, they have capacity. We're not just going to be voting based on being young. We're not just going to be regrouping based on somebody is young. We're going to only be regrouping based on the fact this person have these following characteristics. So please, go out, get registered, and be prepared to vote for a candidate of your choice. The voting registration is ongoing. Get involved, participate, because participation itself is the bedrock of every democratic environment. Thank you for watching.
We move.
To demystify, I think it's going to be my duty to demystify APC going forward and why no Nigerian that truly likes this country should be associated with that party, one. And secondly, should ever think of Bola Tinubu consolidating power in 2027. It's going to be akin to us going into modern day slavery. But if you doubt me, let's listen to this video, please.
Government data, I'm not quoting something out of the air. So for that 100 billion that goes out every month from Federation account, without appropriation by the National Assembly, by the way, without appropriation by the state assemblies, because part of the money belongs to the states. So each state assembly is supposed to appropriate that part. So the entire deduction and expenditure is unconstitutional. It's an impeachable offense, but it has been going on for more than 15 months from the last time I checked. So where has that 1.5 trillion gone? What is it being used for? Why is the security situation just getting worse? Why is the government asking communities to protect themselves? Look, well, President Tinubu's government has failed woefully. Look, beyond, if you asked me in 2022 or 2023 when we were campaigning that things will ever be this bad, I would say that you are mentally ill.
Very, very briefly. All right. You guys have heard that's terrifying. Don't shoot the messenger. Just take the message. 100 billion naira have been withdrawn from our federal allocation account every single month by the president. 100 billion naira for the past 15 months. Last time he checked.
Oh, wow.
Without appropriation by the state assembly or by the national assembly. 100 billion. Tinubu just collect them, boom, monthly for the past 15 months. Approximately 1.5 trillion. God. Let me do this again. 100 billion naira every month from our federal accounts. Then they collect them. You can't point to where this money is going into. No projects, nothing. I think I now understand why you're confident towards 2027. And I think I now understand why so many people will line up behind them in 2027 Nigeria. What do I know? I'm just a common man.
Okay, video coming up. Don't worry. You are going to see your president walking gallantly.
I just have to thank God because God is so powerful, merciful in whatever He's doing. God is full of grace being showered upon our life for greater exploits in Christ, His Son, Jesus. Today, I'm going to speak about the grace of God that is beyond measure.
Okay.
Every Christian that is operating under the grace of God.
Hold on 1 second. This is not this is not what I thought it was going to be. Sorry, guys. So let me see. So Peter Obi calls on the youth to protect their votes as the foundation for credible elections and national renewal. He said this at the Dominican University in Ibadan. Okay. Now, Senator Nenadi Usman shared the certified true copy of the enrollment order of the recent Federal High Court judgment affirming her leadership of the Labour Party. Kenny, I saw your earlier comment saying that the Supreme Court's own still stand gidigba. Abi, that's the long and short of your thing, of your comments.
It's very dangerous. It is clear from the survey that more than half of Nigerians don't trust INEC. And they don't trust INEC for several reasons. One, it's the way and manner and their experience with previous elections. A situation where you have conflicting results emanating from the same polling units during elections. A situation where, polling officials subvert the will of the people. Or a situation where we see pre-filled results sheets, on the day of elections, does not inspire confidence, on the voters. And so we are not surprised that this level of distrust does exist because of the experiences, of voters. It's not just INEC, it's also the conduct of the other actors within the election value chain, the security agencies, the judiciary. All of these actors, their conduct, inactions or mismanagement of the electoral process has adverse effect on the way citizens perceive, elections. So yes, this level of distrust is there. You can feel it, on the part of citizens. And this is why the current chair, of INEC, has vocalized the fact that INEC needs to do a better job of inspiring trust and confidence in Nigerians. And I think that how the commission, manages issues around logistics, how it manages results collation and transmission, how it manages political party registration. Very soon the primaries will begin. How INEC manages, this nomination process. The primaries and the congresses it observes or monitors, the list of candidates that it accepts from political parties. In situation where INEC accepts list of candidates from political parties when validly conducted primaries have not held, would really cast a blight on the integrity of the commission. And these are landmines that we hope that the current INEC chairman and the officials at INEC will take seriously. And I love the fact that, yes, the chairman, has consistently, since his assumption of office, talked about the need to inspire trust and confidence. And we see it as an opportunity, but we've got to keep a close eye, because when you think about turnout at elections declining, you also need to think about how the actors are managing, the electoral process, because it does impact on the levels of turnout. No trust in the electoral process, do not expect any high turnout in the next elections.
INEC, what INEC go dey do right now? As soon as they talk this one, INEC go enter INEC ear, go dey come up for the other one.
It's very dangerous. It is clear from the survey that
they don't put the cutting board for both of their ears, and I'm going to hear nothing.
Zoraka, this is Woto TV. There is something happening between the Atiku supporters and Peter Obi supporters. The different dispositions are accusing one another of divisiveness in ADC. The Atiku supporters are angry with the obedience because we reverberate the cliche that it is Peter Obi or nothing. And such a statement presupposes that should Peter Obi loses, we are not going to support the emerging candidate from the party. And the most people who accuse us of that are the Atiku supporters. But it's amazing that these same people are doing exactly the same thing. In fact, their own predisposition is even more insulting because they are insisting that our own candidate becomes deputy to their own candidate. In our own case, we are looking beyond who is deputy. Anybody can deputize Peter Obi, anybody from the north. We are so strongly believed in the candidacy of Peter Obi. Whether it's deputized by anybody, we just believe that him alone will win. Okay, now let's look at it this other way. The fact that a lot of people who attempt to profile the obedience don't even know what the obedient means is what is even painful about it. The obedience are the very, very few unplugged in this country. They are unplugged. Unplugged from what? Unplugged from the corruption, the dissolution, the unabated looting, and that has almost become a culture in this country. These sets of obedience are the very few unplugged that they know that this Nigeria, the way it is, the way things are, this is not how a country is supposed to be. And therefore, they have envisioned a type of Nigeria that works, and they call that Nigeria a new Nigeria. And they believe with Peter Obi is going to be possible. That's why they say a new Nigeria is possible with a capital P and a capital O. But in the case of the Atiku supporters, all you just want is that Atiku becomes president. That's all. And the elite in the party are somehow very, very astute on the fact that Atiku should be president while as Peter Obi becomes vice. That's not fair. If everybody is supporting their own candidate, allow everybody to support. It's a free world for crying out loud. That's why it's called a democracy. You get me? That's why it's called a democracy. If the ADC party was already predisposed to Atiku, then there is no use for the primary. The primary is already rigged. Or no. So the different predispositions are exactly what is sharing the party and not the support for individual candidates. The predispositions. You believe Atiku, formulated the party and therefore he has a better or a higher moral standing to emerge as the candidate. Whereas Obi didn't do anything. He's just moving into the party and therefore he's going to be a flag bearer of a party that he didn't, assemble or something like that. But that's not true. All these considerations are not what bothers the obedience. What bothers the obedience is, and I repeat with emphatic, a better Nigeria. And indeed, we still believe that Peter Obi is the only suitable candidate that will, turn us around from this economic collapse that is very, very imminent, or national collapse that is very, very imminent with the type of leadership that we have currently, and probably we're going to repeat the same mistake again. So it's Peter Obi or nothing.
Bam. It's simple. Go. They don't need to shout. You understand? You don't need to shout at all. It's very subtle. You understand? Tracy, see your video. Oh, God forgive me. He fell flat too. Like literally flat on his back. This man fell flat on his back. Why did the people leave him alone? All those people that follow him behind, why did they leave him alone? God, I beg you. Hey! Go me tell us, say make you go Turkey. Don't go Turkey. Okay. Oh.
Frankly speaking, the replacement of the current VP, frankly speaking, cannot be, if he would be replaced, cannot be by another Northern Muslim. I would need to keep that straight with you. One of the first casualties of this
Stitch music, you're not nice.
That we are currently facing.
Oh my God.
The involvement of the US and all of that. The first casualty of that is the Muslim ticket. Reason being, the dimension of a whole lot of things, security-wise, has not given so much room for trust, especially in other parts of the country. So if the APC wants to demonstrate some measure of commitment to a point where there is a replacement of the VP, Shetima, it would likely be to pick another candidate, but definitely it could come from the northern part of the country, but most likely not a Muslim. So I do not see Konkoso. There is not so much he will bring to the table that Shetima has not brought or will not bring, or any other strong Muslim candidate from the northern part of the country would bring. So his coming to the APC cannot be to change Shetima. He would put his weight very much as he could. But I do not see the APC actually picking him up as a vice presidential candidate, because he's not actually bringing anything to them that Shetima will not bring. The difference will not be much. So most likely he's doing that to gain some form of other forms of influence in terms of appointments and all of that, or maybe, like I said, to increase his political capital in terms of his chances on another platform, such as the ADC.
I need to play this Ned Media video before we leave here. I need to play this Ned Media video. when was this? Okay, hold on 1 second. You don't know when I hear Ned Media. When Ned Media they talk say obedience should just go ahead and this thing, I just lost interest. I say, what's he saying? What's he saying right now? I don't like people when they stand one place, dilly-dally every time. No. We ain't gonna do that. Nah. Not allowed. I was pissed. So
the language of is either this person or nothing is a language that supports Asiwaju, that supports APC. Because when you say it's this person or nothing,
ADC spokesman Bolaji Abdullahi speaking in an X-Space where he warned Obi and other support groups to stop insisting on their candidates. Before we hear all he had to say in that X-Space, Bolaji Abdullahi was asked what ADC will do if the National Assembly goes ahead to fix the presidential election for November this year, whether they are prepared because time is running out. He answered that ADC wouldn't have enough time to conduct their presidential primaries, which is slated for July 2026, and still have enough time to rally around, campaign around Nigeria, and convince Nigerians to vote for them in November 2026. That's if the National Assembly goes ahead to fix the presidential election for November this year. When you look at his answer, you will see that it is an indirect acceptance that the ADC shouldn't give their presidential ticket to an elderly person. Yes, this is not in any way trying to mock Atiku Abubakar. Everyone will age. It is only natural. Look at Atiku Abubakar here, sweating it out in Daura, Katsina State, during the funeral ceremony of the former past president, Muhammadu Buhari. The short distance we walked from where they parked to the main building, he was sweating it out, as you can see for yourself. Like I already said, it's not in any way trying to mock him. This is the reality. If ADC gives the ticket to an old person, he will be able to campaign hard in the short time that is left before the election holds. This is the reality. Let's not go into
Sing
other
happy
demands of the
slaves.
office that should disqualify an elderly person. Now, compare that to Peter Obi or Rotimi Amechi. Peter Obi can visit 3 states in 1 day. To campaign in the 36 states of the Federation, he can do it under 15 days. Yes. So Atiku Abubakar, who will be 81 years old in 2027, cannot do it. He cannot perform magic. Even if he's able to do it, how is he going to be able to handle the demands of the office? This is the reality. People should stop doing politics with sentiments. If we really want to save this country, we should always do the right thing. We should always do it for national interest, not because of our interests. Nigerians must understand why there is this resistance in ADC. Nigerians must also understand that they are not only fighting APC, they are fighting establishment politicians. They all know that if someone like Peter Obi is in power, most of the corruption that goes on and all the loopholes where they steal money will be blocked. All that money will be diverted to projects that will benefit Nigerians, to make Nigeria work for everyone. Not a situation where a few people who have access to power will be benefiting while the others will be suffering. Another thing Bolaji Abdullahi said that you can qualify as an indirect acceptance that someone like Peter Obi fits the bill was when he said that ADC shouldn't force their candidates to spend so much money in the primaries, money they need for the presidential election, that they can't match APC money for money. He said that ADC might go for a consensus candidate so as to reduce that expenditure that candidates would have spent in the primaries. This also is an indirect acceptance that Peter Obi fits the bill. Yes, because when you look at 2023 presidential election during the campaigns, he was the only candidate that didn't spend any money campaigning. That's when you compare how much others spent. He visited nearly all the states, including places where they said don't visit. Places like Borno State, he visited and campaigned. So if he's given the ticket, the only money he will need is just for logistics. Yes, he doesn't believe in paying people to come to your rally. It doesn't make any sense. How can you justify paying people to come and listen to you? The people you claim you want to save, you want to convince them, vote for me when I get to power, I will make sure I improve on your fortunes. But you have to now pay them to come and listen to you, trying to convince them. It doesn't make any sense. But other politicians believe, especially establishment politicians, that you must pay people to attend a rally. So despite the fact that in many cases, when Bolaji Abdullahi speaks, you can always see that bias and his support for Atiku Abubakar. But in this case, he ended up making a case against Atiku Abubakar's candidacy. Let's take a listen to all the things he said.
Whether the election will be moved to November, since last year we've been having conversations about this. The blunt truth
Abemona double tap
the
to
election
like.
is held in November this
Double
year.
tap to like.
It could work both ways. For the ruling party, straightforward. They don't have to worry about who their candidate would be because they already have their candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For us, it's going to be a bit tricky because, like we have repeatedly maintained, there are two options open to us. The best case scenario is that we will be able to engineer a consensus. Now, engineering a consensus means that we'll be able to produce an individual that all of us will agree that this is going to be our flag bearer. Now, that is going to just be the start of the beginning of the task. Agreeing that one person will be the flag bearer of the party, the candidate of the party, is just the start. Those other people that also aspired for the same position, how do we get them to remain committed to the party, and not only committed to the party, committed to the cause of what we are trying to do? You'll agree with me that in politics this is a bit complicated, but I'm confident from what I've seen from the conversations that I've had with these individual leaders, from their body language and what they are saying, regardless of what followers and supporters are saying, they are open to conversations. They are, of course, like I said earlier, they are aware.
Kenya, sure, not be here. You just see, I played it.
Of what is at stake. But the most important thing is that
Why did he fall,
it is
Kene? Why were you
possible
not
for us
standing
to
behind him?
do
I
this
don't
within the short
understand.
time that we have left.
Wow.
And still
Where
be
were
able to
you,
avoid the
Kene?
bruising primary. As an opposition party, we can hardly afford
You did not do your job well,
for
though.
a
You will
bruising
be
primaries
dropped.
that
You'll
would
be dropped
deplete our
as,
individual resources
one
and
of his
collective resources, and still be able
bodyguards.
to fight an election within a short month. This government has everything. They have all the money in their hands. They have all the institutions under control. Do we have sufficient time to fight primaries and still be able to heal wounds and bind wounds and get everybody sustained in a way that will be able to mobilize Nigerians? Like I said earlier, the only thing working for us is that Nigerians are fed up with the APC. So that's the challenge. If the election holds November, it's going to be tricky, and that's why we are opposed to it. But it has its own good side. The good side is that it also, if we are able to get a candidate ready by July, it means that the campaign is going to be brutally intense. It's going to be short. It's going to be intense. It means that you can concentrate your resources, your energy in a burst rather than a marathon, as it were. So it's going to be an extremely short distance race, like a sprint, rather than a middle distance
All
or a
this
long
na
distance
long
race.
explanation.
So
Give
it
her
has
to
its,
be.
it
May
has
all
its
of us
pros and
rest.
cons. But whatever
That's the
happens,
only
it's
candidate
not
you will
it's not
feed now.
within
People
our
everywhere
control
will
to decide when
bust.
election
We'll start to
will
dey work
hold.
over time.
But what concerns us is that when the election does hold, how are we going to be in a position to fight, and are we going to be in a position to protect our votes and be in a position to collectively move forward from there? So, and that is why I will see this opportunity again to plead with those of us who are members here who may be aligned to one aspirant or another. The language of is either this person or nothing is a language that supports Ashiwaju, that supports APC.
Yeah, right.
Because when you say it's this person or nothing, not one of this, not a single one of the aspirants, whether it's Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, whether it's Peter Obi, whether it's Rotimi Amechi, whether it's whoever else, can by themselves win the election. It is not possible. It is not possible. So, but when we begin to speak language of it's either this person or nothing, we are alienating people that should work together to deliver victory. Getting a ticket means nothing. It's winning the election that matters. So when you have alienated and featured the platform before the election and created axis of grievances that's almost irreconcilable, because every single one of the potential aspirants are eminently qualified and capable to lead the country. But when we continue to say it's either this person or nothing, we are saying that the other people are not good enough. And when
exactly
as well,
maybe they play
they are
now.
politicians and
Go
they are
shock
lawyers
them.
and they are leaders, or they are human beings. So when I feel that the reason I didn't get it is because the supporters of one of my colleagues pushed for it in a way that denigrates me, then it makes reconciliation difficult. It makes healing difficult. Then
Not
it makes it
only
difficult for us to work
reconciliation.
together.
Now you people colluding to heal your wounds. Is it a therapy session?
Of exceptionalism. It doesn't help anybody. So the timing is an issue, but it's like I've repeatedly maintained, we're a party that have to learn to crawl, jump, and run at the same time. So I will stop there so that we can think more. Thank you very much.
Imagine.
Now
It's so annoying. Imagine what he's saying.
$150.
I didn't bother. I was not on that space. I did not bother because I know he's a biased man. Clearly, Bolaji is on the side of Atiku. That's what he has proven. So there's nothing else you want to tell us, Oga Bolaji. We know what you are up to. We know what you are doing. Heck, Who know whether or not be Balablu never reach in pocket. But you can't. I don't trust any one of them. I don't trust any one of them. If you people like, do deaf, dumb, blind, and give it to an octogenarian when enough fit work 5 minutes without sweating. Mona fe try am na. Una like suffer. Una like to continue with Tinubu in this suffering, and possibly Tinubu will be the only president in Nigeria. He go dey pass am to generation after generation. The entire Nigerians will become slaves. That's what you people want. No problem. Your children included, though. So look at wetin dem dey call am. What's his name? Wike. I don't know why they not block everywhere. Make Wike no run. I don't understand. How una not know say exit dey the other side? Person one are supposed gather be a touch like small pikin. I don't understand. Very annoying people. Kene, you and Tracy, you people are not nice. So we are not nice. Kene, so you dey BQ of internet. You say Tracy na in the control room. Oh my god. Ay. Oh my god. I don't feel laugh. I'm telling you, speaking grammar, they confuse yourself. You know, they're not hear when they say article or nothing. They're not hear article supporters. I beg you, disingenuous people. We dey here, all our eye open. We dey see wetin dey happen. This is why we say PO or nothing. If you no fit handle that talk, just dress. It's simple. Me know who I dey support. You support who you want support. No be, you understand? No use your market to spoil my market. No use your reggae to spoil my blues. It's simple as ABC. I'm playing blues. Don't come and play reggae inside it. You understand? Exactly. Compromise. Double speak. Exactly. Election will be happening. We'll turn the polling unit to soccer field. And I'm telling you, honestly, I really hope we can do that. Tracy, you say Tinubu wear coat of arms. Oh my god. Godwin Osato, I hear you now. You no need to come cry for comment section. Since you know that and you are very, very vast in politics, not be talk now. So why are you crying in my comment section? Thousands of us will come to the polling unit and we will just be playing, eating fruit from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then go home. I hear you now, Godwin. Well, go and sit in one place now. It's okay. You don't have to cry in my comment section. Since you feel very strongly about it, why are you in my comment section crying? Why? Why are you in my... If you know they do you anyhow, if you are not threatened, why are you commenting? I beg you, una go sit down. Una think say una get monopoly of madness. I'm telling you, make dem shift. My people, now here I go leave am. Make I go jollof the rest of my morning. I got things to do, places to be. So I go see una later, sha. I will try come out later. We'll talk the rest. Or maybe when is Barrister Darlington coming out today? Tracy, you know whether Barrister Darlington they come out today, or if Precious bring out Dr. Catch, I go bring am. I go stream am. Because I wan hear wetin. But to be honest with you, Barrister Darlington, I don't know. Sometimes I know they like wetin they talk. They annoy me. You understand? So I don't know if Barrister Darlington is going to be out. But if Precious is out with Dr. Catch or the lawyer from Bayelsa, I think is it Bayelsa or Rivers State? I can't remember his name now. I will definitely stream it because I dey like that man interviews. Okay, it's Tuesday. Okay, now Monday and Thursdays. I go try remember. I know they always remember. I know say Tracy don't tell me before. Darlington, welcome. Are you the Barrister Darlington or not or a different Darlington? Okay. All right, guys, I'll see you now later. If Dr. Catch or the lawyer, when they talk true, when they do gbim for chest, if he come Precious live today, I will definitely stream am. I dey like hear wetin the guy dey talk. All right, guys, thank you so much. Kene, Tracy, I appreciate Darlington, everybody that was able to join. Thank you. Even you, Godwin, too. Have a nice day. Okay. Stitch Music, thank you very much. Charles Duru, thank you. I go see you now again on my next one. Ciao.